Hey everyone, how you doing? Jason Lawrence here. It's been a little while since I've done a video. I wanted to just do kind of a broad video today, so I'm going to talk about a few different topics related to building a spec home. And I got to tell you, so I just turned 42 last week, and I'm kind of feeling it a little bit. I feel like I look older. Not in a good way. I feel like I need to kind of watch a little bit as far as what I'm eating. I'm getting a little too loose with the ice cream and some of the other things, and I know that I'm not living up to my full physical and wellness potential right now, and I'm in a little bit of a rut with that. Which it's easy to get into ruts with all different kinds of things. I was just in a rut pertaining to my career and building homes and what I do, and I was able to get out of that. I have another video where I'm talking about that and what I did to get out of that and how that came about. But the physical one that I'm in right now, it's like I know what I need to do, and I'm at that step now. I don't know if anybody's ever been here before, and I know this is completely off topic, but for those of you that are loyal video watchers, I think it's okay to throw this stuff out there. So anyways, the point I'm at right now is the point in which I have to make the decision as to whether or not I need to move up in the size clothes that I'm wearing. I've got a lot of old clothes, and I'm starting to need some new things. And the t-shirts, I love just wearing t-shirts and button-down shirts. The t-shirts that I felt comfortable with, and the size that I've been wearing for the last 10 years is now getting a little tight, and I'm not really that comfortable in it. So I'm kind of at that point where, okay, I either need to do something or I need to concede and buy the next size of clothes up. But then I know I'm going to end up doing something. Summer's coming up. I do a lot of work outside. So I kind of go through my cycles. And, as many of you may experience this in the winter time, holidays, things like that, it's easy to, overindulge a little bit. So just a little personal background there. But anyways, okay, let's get into what I wanted to do this video about. So one of the first things is financing your spec home build. And this has been, I would say, somewhat of a hot topic. This is something that a lot of people have asked questions about. And there's different options with this. First and foremost, if you've never built a home before, you've never built a spec home before, it's gonna be tough to go into a bank and have them lend you money to build a spec home. Now, in the past, there's somebody I knew that they went into a bank. They hired us as the GC. That he didn't have his general contractor's license at the time. He was going to do a lot of the work himself because he's in the trades, and so he basically needed us to pull the permit, do the framing. There were certain things in there that we were doing, and then he was kind of taking care of the rest. So he went and got a construction loan and went to the lender and said, okay, I'm hiring Joseph Scott Homes to build my home here. And then when the home was completed, he sold it. He turned around and sold it, and then he went on to do his next one by himself, and he got his general contractor's license. Now, that was kind of his only option with financing, because if he went into the lender and said, hey, look, I've never built a home before, I don't have a general contractor's license, I want to build my own house, the bank is going to say, thanks, but no thanks. Come again, son. So he said that he was getting a construction loan to build a home. Maybe the topic never came up as to whether or not it was going to be his personal home. A lot of times if you go into a lender that does construction loans and you say, hey, I'm having so-and-so build a house for me, they're not really going to ask, maybe they don't really ask any questions, as to, they just assume that it's a house for yourself. So, and you're, going to get a much better interest rate that way. And I'm not advising that, because that's not, I guess it's really not ethical. It's hard when you're talking about the banks and the billionaires that own the banks. And so, okay, we'll move on from there. But anyways, that's what he ended up doing. He ended up getting kind of like a personal construction loan and had us build the home, and then sold it. And then when he went in to get his next one, I know that he worked with that same lender, and that lender, was not happy about what happened, because if a bank knows that you're going to be doing a construction loan for a spec home, that's considered a commercial loan. So when you're doing a commercial loan, and I don't do handle our loans for our home building business, so I don't know what the exact rate is, but I'm thinking it's probably somewhere around 9%, maybe even a little more, but somewhere right around there is what you're going to pay a lot more to get a commercial construction loan than you are to get your own personal construction loan. Now again, if you're just building your first home, it's not going to be easy to even get a commercial construction loan. So you're going to need to find a small local bank, bank that a community style bank. A lot of the smaller local banks are more prone to working with startup businesses and people who are kind of getting things going. So that's going to be your best chance to be able to go in and get a construction loan to build a spec home. But the other obstacle is, if you haven't built any homes before, even if you have a general contractor's license and you've got, great credit and you've got money to put down, if you haven't built a home before on your own, a lot of times that is criteria that the bank wants to see. They want to know that you have some experience with building a new home before they're going to lend you money to build your own home. They're taking a chance on you. They're taking a chance. They need to know that whoever they're going to lend this money to is either working with somebody that has the capability to finish the home, or that the person they're lending the money to has the capability to finish the home. Because if something happens and the loan defaults and the home is finished, well, then the bank has an asset that they can do something with. But if it's just a framed up home and, rough mechanicals aren't done and it's just kind of a shell of a house, that's almost of no value to the bank. That's just a mess right there. So that's why they want somebody with experience. And again, that's not all the time, but more than likely that could be something that you encounter. But finding a smaller local bank, something that's got, 4 or 5 branches or less in the area, or maybe a little more than that's fine. And try a few banks. Don't just give up after the first one. First and foremost with the bank, they got to be a bank that does construction loans, just straight up construction loans for customers. Because if they don't do that, then they more than likely won't be doing a spec home loan. The other thing that you could explore, depending on your financial situation, the amount of equity that you have in your existing home or other properties, you might be able to do some type of a line of credit or an equity line based off of assets and equity that you have in different properties. So that could be something that you look at as well. The other option is you could find an investor. It does seem like there are a good amount of investors that are out there. You're going to need to present something to them showing them this is where we're going to be building, this is what we're going to be doing, this is what it's going to sell for, this is the potential profit. I take a little pause here to enjoy my sip of coffee. I just picked up my coffee. Oh, that first sip, there's nothing like it, right? So every morning I get a medium dark roast with 2 ice cubes, and I don't take any cream or sugar, just black. 2 ice cubes. A lot of times I used to say, they would be like, light ice, sure, light ice, but then they like fill the whole bottom of the cup with ice, and it's not hot anymore. And I need my coffee to be the perfect temperature if I'm going to be drinking it. So I like it to where it's almost scalding hot, but the 2 ice cubes takes a little bit of the edge off. And maybe, you know, I don't know if they can control and actually, you know for sure that only 2 ice cubes are going in there, because when they put the little cup up to the thing, they probably just give it a little doop, and you get a couple that fall in there. So right now it is almost feeling like there's no ice cubes in here, because it is hot. But I would rather have it like that than you know, once it's cooled down, it's like it's over with. You know, I don't want to drink it anymore. If you reheat it, it doesn't taste the same. Okay, got off topic again, but hey, I don't normally do that in my videos. I guess I'm showing a little bit of my vulnerable side. So we'll see if you like it, or if you want me to just stick to business, and that's it. So anyways, getting back to the whole financing part of things. So you do have private investors that are, you know, people that are looking to do something with their money. And if you have a general contractor's license, and maybe you've been in the industry, you've got some experience, you've got some knowledge, maybe you're a real estate agent, you're in the real estate industry, you should be able to put something together to be able to present to a private investor. Also too, I wanted to throw something out there. I have a couple different services that I offer as a builder educator. So first and foremost, I do have a membership site that is $35 per month. I once did a course on how to build a spec home, and what I did is I took that course and I broke it into a bunch of individual videos, and I've got this whole course inside of the membership along with a bunch of other videos. Do once a month Zoom group calls, which I have to admit, haven't done one in probably a little bit over a month, so I'll be scheduling one of those soon. I do also have another tier up from there that is $99 per month, and it's everything that the other option includes, plus a one-on-one monthly hourly phone call. I do also have another service that I offer that I don't really know if I've ever talked about this before, but if you are somebody that maybe you've got your general contractor's license, that's something that you're probably going to need to have in order to move forward with this, and you need to have access to financing, whether it's through one of these options that we're talking about or a private investor. But I do offer a service where I can handhold you through the entire process, finding a lot, surveying the home on the lot, choosing a home plan, helping you price out the home plan, coming to visit with you a couple times during construction, basically available whenever you need me to go over things with you, or to just a very, very, very hand-holding experience through the whole process, which is going to guarantee that, well, I guess you can't guarantee anything, but it's going to ensure that you make it through this building process and that you should end up having a successful build. Now, I can't guarantee any amounts of money that you know are to be made, but I can pretty much guarantee that, you know, we're going to get through this building process together. It's going to be a good experience for you and a tremendous learning experience for you. So that's something that you can inquire about. My email is jason@josephscotthomes.com. I'll put that in the details below. But there's going to be a little bit of a decent amount of investment that you'll have to do for that option, for that tier, but that's something that we can discuss. So anyways, back to the financing. I know a lot of private investors that are out there right now that I could bring a lot to them, and I could bring a home plan to them, and I could say, you know, because of my experience, this is what the build cost is going to be, this is what the price of the lot is, based upon other homes that we're building, based upon the market, based upon where we are, this is what it's going to sell for. Now, you would want to, well, no, let's back up a little bit. So you present it that way so that you're able to show, hey, look, there's some good potential profit here. Now, if this investor is going to be, financing everything, maybe they're getting a construction loan for it, or maybe they are gonna put up the cash for everything, for the lot, for the build, and then you are strictly gonna be the one that gets the home done. Maybe that's something that they're gonna require 50% of the profit for, which I don't feel is unreasonable. It's, allowing you to do something that you may not be able to do because of the financing situation, but now you can because you have somebody that's backing you. Or maybe you present something to them and you say, hey, look, if you buy this lot and you give me $10,000 on top of that to apply towards the holding costs that I'm going to have to pay for the construction loan, or just any other little costs that come up, this is what I can, I can give you 25% of the profit, or I can just, give a straight number. Like, you buy the lot, when the home sells, you're going to get paid back on the lot. You're also going to be giving me $10,000 up front. And then when this house is built and sold, you're going to get paid back on the lot. You're going to get your $10,000 back, and then you're going to get another $15,000 on top of that. And if the home takes, 8 months to build from start to finish, and once the lot is found and things start to go into the works from there, let's just say, all in all, let's just say it's a year from the time that this guy or gal purchases the lot and you have a home on it that's able to sell. Let's just say it's a year. So I don't know. I mean, and you can pay back the, maybe whatever the monthly payments are, or maybe they're paying cash for the lot. So I don't know. I mean, somebody's putting in $85,000. Let's say the lot's 75, they're giving you another 10. So they're putting in $85,000. They're getting that $85,000 back plus $15,000 on top of that. That's not a bad deal at all. I mean, at least I don't think so. So that could be something that you could present as well. Okay, so yeah, I do also have a cold, and I don't say that because I want anybody's pity, but sometimes when I'm listening to somebody talk and they've got a cold and they've got that, little bit of nasaliness going on, I can't stand it. So thank you for bearing with me, and there's good information in this video, so it'll be worth it. But that's just, for me, if I'm listening to somebody that, and I know what their voice normally sounds like, but now it's a little bit nasally because they have a cold, oh, I hate it. So private investor is definitely a viable option. Now, the last option, and this is something that it seems like a lot of clients of mine have used before. You're definitely going to pay more money to do this, but this may be your only option. Maybe you don't have the best of credit, or you have a type of business where you can't show the bank the full amount that you really make, but for whatever reason, you can't get a construction loan through a bank, and you're not doing the private investor route because you don't know one, or whatever the reason is. Hard money lending is another option. And I believe that with hard money lending, you're probably going to be around 14%. I don't know a lot about hard money lending, but you're definitely going to have a higher interest rate there. So with any of these financing options, don't forget to factor these into your build cost. So even though this isn't, like the cost of lumber is X, so we're putting that in the budget. The electric is this, we're putting that in the budget. When you're building your budget and you're putting your budget together, make sure that you are accounting for holding costs or financing or whatever you want to call it. But whatever monthly payments you're going to be paying for the hard money, whatever monthly payments you're paying to the bank for their interest rate, whatever way you're going, make sure that you've got that factored in. Because if you're going through a bank, depending on the amount that you're borrowing, that could be, $10,000 to $12,000 to $13,000, $14,000. If you are doing hard money lending, then that could be close to $20,000 that you're going to have to pay in order to get that money. And you say, oh my God, that's so much, I would never do that. What a ripoff. But if you don't have any choice, if that's your only barrier, you know, standing in your way of you being able to build your first spec home, well, you do it. You get the experience on it. You can still make money on it even after you're, you know, paying the $20,000 for the financing. Now, this might be the option where the private investor route works the best, because if they're purchasing the lot with cash, well, there's no interest payments on that. Maybe they're financing the whole build with cash. So unless they have some type of an interest payment they want you to pay them, that's not something that is going to need to be factored into the build cost. And that just means that there's more profit. So more profit for you to split with that investor. So those are some different financing options when it comes to financing your spec build. I know this is probably one of the hardest hurdles to overcome, especially depending on your age, your financial situation. You just may be at an, you know, like if you're 22 years old and you just started working for a builder a year ago, you know, you're probably going to need to put in a few more years until you can even get a general contractor's license. And you're going to have some experience under your belt before you can get a construction loan. You're going to have to build up your you know, financial situation before you can do that. And realistically, if some guy wants to build a you know, $500,000 or $1 million house and you're 22 years old, it might be a little hard to, you know, for this guy or gal or family to trust somebody who's so young and inexperienced. So what I'm saying to you is keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up on anything that you're doing, but just get a little more experience. And maybe you don't need to. I mean, maybe you're in a situation, you've been a framer, you've been working with your dad for the last, you know, 5 years, and you're going to go off and do your own spec home because you know exactly what to do. You've got the financial backing to do it. Disregard everything I just said right there. But all right, that's about all the info that I got for this one. I appreciate you listening to some of my my personal commentary. We'll see if people like it or if they just want me to stick to business from now on. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of liked doing it this way a little bit more, and I feel like I'm funny sometimes. So we'll see if you think so as well. Well, that's all I've got for this one. If you don't subscribe, please do so. Click the little bell for notifications to get notified of more videos that I do. I'm going to try to be more consistent with doing this. Thank you for your time, and God bless.